Good morning, my beautiful daikinis, and welcome back to my channel. So today I am showing you how I make a custom necklace which actually embodies the energy of Hathor, the goddess that you know as Hathor. Hathor is a more mainstream name for this beautiful Venusian goddess. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Hathor if you don't know her, and I'm going to tell you about the most Venusian Tektite that I know of. Who is Hathor? And you will see throughout the video I invoke her, call her in, channel her as Hathor, which is her name found in the hieroglyphs. So she's in ancient Egypt, very African in the way that I channel her. She's looks like the Queen of Sheba, of Zeba. They have a similar energy and a similar vibrance. However, Hathor was really the first goddess in the mystical school of Isis who started to talk about the notion of divine feminine. Her teachings are really the first one where you will start hearing about the intimate part, the yoni and the womb powers. There's even a very famous, in the world of people who study Egyptology, ancient Egypt, communities and spiritual communities who are able to channel her. There's a funny story about her actually showing up, opening her legs and exposing her intimate parts as a way to wake the divine feminine of women and telling them that there is no shame in being a beautiful, powerful creatrix. If you saw the cover of my mantra song devoted to Parvati, the Parvati devotion mantra, which is the mantra you should always start with when you're embarking on using mantras for your transformation, your goddess transformation, the position of the woman on the cover is very much the one of Hathor in the story that I just talked about. Hathor is divine feminine. She teaches you how to live and dwell in your home. She helps you create a harmonious home. She is the quintessential trophy wife. She embodies beauty, elegance. She's almost like, if you see in modern days, the woman of an ambassador, of a high-ranking official who, instead of going out, receives, invites people in their home, showing them how beautifully they live. So Hathor is really this elegance, poise, and very powerful in a very, I know I'm powerful and I don't need to bark at people. I don't need to prove it at people. When people come to me, when people come to my home, when people talk to me, they feel my presence. She's a Venusian, if you didn't know it. Most of the goddesses, deities, that I'm going to talk about in my channel, of course, are sister Venusians that are known in mythology and that we channel. They basically signed a contract with human beings. In the mystical school of Isis, the channeling that I've done, traveling and going to the chambers with Hathor, she's really the first one who starts looking at Mother Earth and getting precious elements that carry mystical, metaphysical powers, properties, to basically help the physical woman become that temple, the temple that we talked about so much. The fact that the embellishments that we wear need to represent our spiritual goddess, our goddess spirit. So she's the first one who's going to, even later on, influence big figures such as Cleopatra, with the adornment of the coifs, the hairdresses, the crowns, the wigs, because back then there were a lot of extensions, men and women, because hair carries an extremely strong spiritual power. It is the antenna to divinity. It creates the opening of this vortex in which we should really live throughout the day, because we live in a world of duality, very dense, very concentrated sort of energy pulling you down. You know, this is gravity. We live in a dimension of gravity. We're pulled downwards. So we use all of the divine elements, like the potions that, you know, I make or other people make, the Venusian potions specifically. If you incarnated to live the life of the sweetness of being a divine feminine, a woman embodying this goddess element. That is why Hathor comes to people like me to basically create beautiful jewelry that not only adorns you, because the point is to vibrate beauty, vibrate poetry, speak poetry, speak beauty. This is how we bless, this is how we heal, recognizing our own divine entitlement to having everything we want. So Hathor is really the woman you want to go to, the yoni you want to spend time after the intimate act. You want to dwell in that yoni. You want to admire that yoni, you know, with her legs spread open, and just the masculine just looking and admiring you as actually an embellishment of his life. All of the, you know, remember, if you know a little bit stories of Cleopatra, how she actually, instead of using force, she used seduction in times of war, when the Roman Empire wanted to started actually their invasion to colonize North Africa. She used seduction, because strength, physical strength, is not the property of the divine feminine, unless this divine feminine is here to embody her masculine, which is, she's a woman, but she actually incarnated to be a divine masculine, which has nothing to do with our physical appearance. So the example of Cleopatra is really one of, I'm going to create this aura of, I think the word in English is allurement, embellishment, to become this dream come true, this actual fantasy for the man. So then when Julius Caesar came with the first goal to invade ancient Egypt, you know, Kama, to invade, take over all of the riches of that continent, instead of going and trying to fight full force, she knew that she didn't have that manpower even in her army to do that. So she used her powers. This is a path of claiming your femininity. This is the path of cleansing any programming you have about being a sacred whore. A sacred prostitute, a sacred sexual woman. It is about erotic spirituality. Every Venusian is going to teach you about divine eroticism. Every Venusian is about the Tantra, whether you think of Gnostic texts on Mary Magdalene, Baghdad, if you think of the Queen of Sheba going to Solomon and bringing all of the incense, the frankincense, the myrrh, the gold. She comes with her power as equal. She doesn't go to ask. She goes there because she knows there's an exchange that needs to take place. It is all about sensuality and sexuality in the most sacred sense. It is about sacred marriage. When you're one with yourself, you don't have any kind of trauma, of programming, of shame when it comes to being a sexual woman, practicing sacred sexuality only, embodying the goddess. It's not about being cheap and being promiscuous. No, there are rules, because our bodies are our temple. Our womb is where they dig gold. So we protect our temples, and we only offer ourselves as actual offerings, you know, when they come to our body altars, when they are our male god equivalent. Hathor is really, you know, here to show you that you can walk around and being this adornment. You can walk around and actually have the costume of what your goddess actually looks like in those divine realms. That is why her mission is about embellishment of the hair and jewelry, the use of stones, precious stones. That is why you see me making those spiritually charged jewelry, and my jewelry is divine by essence. This is what I connect to. This is my realm. I connect to precious stones only. I connect to the most rare materials. I connect to gold, rubies, emerald, diamonds, high caliber, high power, high potent energy trapped in minerals and meteorites. Which leads me to now the topic of the video, and then I'm going to let you watch basically me making this beautiful necklace. It is the piece that I use, which is I connect more to meteorites. So I have an amazing collection of moldavites, and in this video you see the Gold Libyan Tektite, which is a tektite that fell on the frontier of what is today Libya and Egypt, ancient Egypt. So it is the most Venusian stone you could ever find, and when you add the ruby to work on the creation of sensuality, and the emerald that I use to create wealth on revolving door, always wealth coming and coming and coming to you, you actually are a miracle on your own. You're a walking goddess. Gold Libyan Tektite is the most powerful stone when you want willpower, when you want to recreate your self-concept of embodying the goddess, when you want to actually get clear, you know, have clairvoyance, have psychic abilities. And a lot of you miss that when you fail to see, when you look in the mirror, or when you connect to your womb, when you fail to meet and actually see your goddess. So this stone does that. She gets you this meeting when you go one-on-one. But the biggest property of Gold Libyan Tektite, it is actually next to moldavite, which is powerful as well, but it has a masculine undertone, very powerful, very transformational. That's why it shakes you. Gold Libyan Tektite promotes manifestation, and I know you love this word. Go look online and you'll see that's the word that comes all the time, manifestation. It actually is the stone that shapeshifts you. You know, it's a quantum shifting stone. And what is very particular with Gold Libyan Tektite is that it has to be worn as jewelry, whereas moldavite, you can just carry it around, put it around your house and things like that. Gold Libyan Tektite has to be worn on your body. It has to be worn on your neck, opening the pathways, and then it feeds your roots. It works on 2 chakras, and if you know Venusian work, and if you know my work or divine feminine work, it works on the 2 feminine chakras when you want to embody the goddess. It works on your womb, and it works on your heart, your swadhisthana and your anahata. I mean, it's perfect. I don't know why I actually never got the time, or you know, I'm just making this piece and I wanted to share it with you. So this is a nice opportunity for you to discover more and more about Venusian goddess living. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye. So Daikinis, I'm about to start making a new necklace. This is an Hathor necklace, and I'm using this meteorite, which is similar to moldavite. You know that I only work with the most precious, rarest, powerful stones, and this one is no exception. This is the most Venusian of all stones. She works on the 2 main, or at least more powerful, feminine chakras: the womb, sacral, sexual chakra, the anahata, the heart chakra. Even more powerful than moldavite, though they're different. I mean, moldavite is going to work mainly on the creation and transformation. They're different. I shouldn't say that it's more powerful. They work differently. So let me show you. When I did this Lalita Tripura Sundari necklace, with her Sri Yantra, she requested Moldavite. My jewelry is extremely rare, extremely special. You won't find it anywhere else. It is really divine inspiration rather than inspired by what other people are doing. Actually, I don't look at what other people are doing. So this necklace was actually curated by Hathor. For the purpose of the video, I will call her Hathor. So similar to Oshun, she is an ancestor goddess, very dear to us Africans. My offerings to her are wine, keura flower, and rose water, and cow milk. Here I use concentrated, sweetened cow milk. As a daughter of Oshun, you would understand.